What's up YouTube? Welcome to another video here on Forever Life and Fitness, where everyday life meets movement and momentum. I'm quite excited today. It's a little bit of a different video. I haven't shot one of these in a while. Not gonna lie, that intro took me way too long to film, but I'm trying to get back into doing a bit of cinematography or bringing some cinematics into these videos, and hopefully it'll get better and quicker over time because that took me way too long. But anyway, on to today. Doing things a little bit different. Obviously my videos are a little bit repetitive. I know I'm pretty much doing the same thing over and over again. But with that being said, there is method to my madness. It may appear like I'm doing the same thing, but there are reasons why I keep doing, I suppose, essentially the same thing. And mainly it's from a mental point of view, and also to sort of drill in to move on to the next thing. But that takes time, especially when you come into it in your adult years. And I suppose it's quite easy for a lot of the young ones to feel like, oh, just chuck, double back or whatever. But for me, obviously being older and also trying to avoid having an injury, I need to think in the long term. So that's why a lot of the things I do over and over again. But what I thought today is I will actually do a voiceover from my last session and tell you sort of what I'm doing and what I'm thinking and what's going on in my head and that sort of thing. I thought that'd be quite an interesting video because just watching me do the same thing over and over again without any explanation, I suppose isn't that helpful, but maybe hearing my thoughts might actually help. So on to today's session. So my main focus today in this session I'm about to play for you is I wanted to work on Roundoff flick tuck back. And like I said in the intros of previous videos, I've done them before, but it's been a long time and I don't know what it is. I just can't get it. And I'm going to talk you through when I know it's the right time to throw, because really interestingly, you're going to see in these videos that I'm about to show you, in theory I could have gone for it, but it would have been a little bit of touch and go. I might have made it, I might not have. And I've done this before where I've thrown a back tuck after a flick, and if you don't time it right, it is really weird, and you usually go really low and quick, and that's okay if you're under control. But if it's not under control, it can be quite serious. So with these, it's a lot of timing, and until I know the timing is right, I won't throw it. And like I said, when I play the video, I will explain to you when I know the timing is right and when it's good to throw. But I feel like it's getting closer and closer because every week the feeling's getting closer and closer. So again, when the video comes up, I will talk you through what I'm looking for to know, oh yeah, I can throw this and it'll be okay. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the video. So now when I start my sessions, I do have to start off with quite a big warm up. A lot of people, especially the younger ones, don't warm up nowhere near as much as I do, and that's purely because I just need that extra time. Being a little bit older, I get a little bit more stiff, but also the biggest thing is, as well, as I have jumper's knee, which is inflammation of the patellar tendon, so that sort of tendon right underneath your kneecap, for me, gets really inflamed, and that's through playing basketball, funny enough. I got it when I was really young, and then it's just something that's gotten worse as I've gotten older. However, now being a physio myself and knowing how to manage these sort of conditions, I've got to the point where I don't really feel it. That being said, if I just went straight to the gym and did a front tuck, for example, it would flare it up. So what I do is I do a warm up, which pretty much consists of a jog up and down first, hopping on one leg, do a bit of stretching. Then I start to do things where I literally just will jump and as high as I feel comfortable and land, and that's just to get some impact going through my leg or going through my legs. Because the thing is, when you rotate in the air, you have to remember that you increase your speed, because obviously your body mass is essentially covering twice the distance, so the impact on your body is quite a lot. Normally it's about 4 times your body weight goes through your knees when you're walking, so I have no idea what it is when you're running or when you're jumping, but I can imagine it's a lot more. So with that being said, I will always make sure I do a proper warm-up. So yeah, like I said, just start off with a nice jog, nothing crazy, and yeah, we'll do that. This is me just doing my first tuck, and like I said, the tucks can sometimes be a bit iffy, and I normally try and do one just to see how it feels, if I feel ready, or if it hurts. And if it hurts, then I'll go back to the drawing board, warm up a little bit more. But that one felt really good. I actually did a few more, but I don't think I got on my camera. So yeah, I always start off with front tucks just to see where my knees are. Oh, and the other thing as well is if I find it hurts, what I'll do at that point is I will put on knee sleeves. But I didn't need to do that today because it didn't hurt, so that's fine. Now, the other thing I'm trying to get over is back tucks. I have always had a fear of back tucks, and it's funny because when people watch me tumbling, they can't believe that I find it scary to do a simple back tuck, but I really do. And I know I've got the capability to do a back tuck anyway. I could do a back tuck in this front room if I wanted to, but I'm too scared to do it. And I don't know why, and it's one of those things that if you don't commit 100%, that's when it's dangerous. So I've been trying to work on taking my back tucks like into different places, which is why you'll notice sometimes I just do 3 in a row. And it's literally because I know the first one I'm setting myself up, and then the last 2 I'm just trying to go without thinking. And then the other thing I try and do is do it in different places. So I try and do it different places within the gym just to get my body used to doing it anywhere, and it's not really worked out yet, but it will do. I know, I'm holding tight. I did in, I think it was 2015. I might be able to find a clip of me doing it. I did manage to get the back tuck outside. I just stopped doing it, and as a result, I've definitely put up a fear. So I'm trying to get over that fear. So yeah, just do a few back tucks. Now this ground's a bit harder than the other ground that I normally tumble on. So yeah, oh yeah, as you can see, so I did 2, and I think I wanted to do 3, but I think I got scared, and I think that's why I didn't do 3 in that clip. So the other thing I'm trying to do here is a round off tuck. So essentially just do that cartwheel type thing where you land on 2 feet into a back tuck. Now I can do that no problem. The issue is because I'm quite stiff and I move relatively quick for someone my age, but not quick enough for this sort of thing, which is something I'm trying to work on, trying to get that explosive power to kick in a bit quicker. When I try and do a round off tuck, go in the shorter distance, by the time I do my round off, I feel like, oh, I haven't got any time to do a tuck. And it's really scary. So what I was trying to do here was trying to see if I could squeeze a round off tuck into this space. Because historically, I've trained at this gym for years, and I used to be able to do it from 1 step, but now I'm struggling to do it from like two or 3 steps. So that's what I was working on here, and I don't think, if I remember correctly, I was successful. I think I tried it like 4 or 5 times. I just couldn't get it. So here's my round off, and there was just like no. So what I've done is, instead of going this way, I went this way, and it's a lot further, which means that I've got more time to run and think about it and then do a tuck. And that's the other thing I wanted to say. A lot of times when you see me running, doing these tumbles, in my head I'm thinking, am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? Literally, I would say probably about the first 3 or 4 steps, I'm still deciding whether I'm going to go for it or not. So that's why I need so much distance. And it's really annoying because a lot of the younger ones don't need that much distance. So when I'm trying to do something and they see me at the other end, they think, oh, it's fine. I need that whole track to do what I'm trying to do. But I am working on trying to shorten that distance. And actually, it's coming along, and you'll see later in this video. So here I eventually did the round of tuck. No problems there at all. So then I started to go diagonal again, and I just thought, let me just keep throwing it. Because a lot of this is movement patterns, and when you get used to those movement patterns, then they become second nature to you. So for me, if I'm going at that speed and I do a round off, my body will naturally do a tuck, but it's just getting to that speed. I'm trying to get to that mindset without having to have all that distance. So this is a little bit softer than the floor I was just on, and this is where I started to work on my Roundoff flicks. So a little bit of history. Roundoff flicks for me have been a bit of a nemesis, to be honest with you. I had them really well at one point, and then I think it was either COVID, my injury, just time away, and I lost them again. So I'm trying to get it back. I don't like the way they look. I hate the way my arms are so far. Nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. But what I do like is that I'm beginning to get to the point where I'm confident to do it each time. So this is just the first round off flick, and then I think I do quite a few of them. So I just wanted to talk you through what is actually going on in my head. When I do a round off flick, I'm seeing how I feel when I do the flick. So I do the round off, jump into the flick, and the minute my hands touch the ground, I think, oh, can I go for a tuck? Because I know if I throw my legs with the intention to keep my chest up, and once they hit the floor, bring my knees to my chest, I'm going to tuck naturally. I know that will happen. Now the issue that I have is, because I need so much momentum, it's really quick. So a lot of the coaches will say, slow down, slow down. I just can't. When I slow down, I get in my head. And what I've realized is that as good as these coaches are, unfortunately they're used to teaching kids. But actually, once you get to a certain age, once you become an adult, those mechanisms change and you don't learn that way. So with that being said, taking it to gymnastics, teaching me the same way you teach a kid, it just doesn't work. So telling me to slow down, I've tried it and I just end up, there's more risk of me injuring myself. So what I tend to do is, like I said, use the whole speed. Now you can see I'm right at the end of the tumble track there. And again, most people will take maybe a 2 steps, but I run the whole thing. But yeah, what I'm looking for is, like I said, because I have to do it so quick, when my hands hit the ground, I'm looking for when that moment feels like it's slow. Because historically, when I've been able to do roundoff flick tuck, it just felt really slow. It looked quick, but it felt slow. The problem is where I'm at the moment is it looks quick and it feels quick. Like I'm like roundoff, go for the flick, and before I know it, my feet are on the ground again. And that is not the time to try and throw anything. It's not control. I don't have control over it. So what I'm trying to do is actually work on trying to get to the point where it feels slow again. And like I said, I've done it before, so I know that I can do it again, but I'm not there yet. So I think this is the one where I emphasize how high, yeah, it is. So I do my roundoff here, roundoff flick, and land so high. And actually, I repeat this slowly so you can see when I'm in this position. If I feel like it's slow, I've got to this position and it's controlled, then I know the minute my legs come over and touch the floor, all I've got to do is keep my chest up, hips sort of going up, and then bring my knees to my chest, and it will automatically tuck. Now, I didn't feel this felt really quick to me. So because of that, because it felt quick and I'm in this position here with my hands touching the ground essentially, I know that this is not the time for me to go for a tuck. But I'm not in a bad position. Okay, I know a lot of gymnasts would look at that and say, oh, that looks horrible, but I'm not in a bad position here. And then my feet hit the ground. Now look at this, look how high, look at the height that I get. That is mad. I mean, look how far my feet are from the ground. You can see a mat right in the foreground of this shot, and my feet are well over it. So if my chest was up and I brought my knees to my chest, that would be a nice high tuck. But like I said, I'm not there in this session. It just wasn't gelling quite right. What I tend to do is try and drill to the point where it feels like stupid that I'm drilling. So the reason why I now have taken it to the fast track is it gives me a little bit more time to work on it and to get comfortable. Now the other thing as well is I hate tumbling with. Actually this bit of equipment or fast track, it's almost like a long trampoline, is where I broke my neck. In fact, you can see right where the crease is, right where next to the front of my foot, that's literally where I was when I broke my neck. So it's always a little bit worrying to work on this. But the good thing about the fast track is it gives you a little bit more time, gives you a bit more reaction forces, so you can kind of work on the skill a bit more. So all I wanted to do here was just round off, flick. That's all I wanted to get, because I thought if I can get it on here where I don't feel very confident, then trying to take it back onto the fast track shouldn't be a problem. So do my round off, stop, do my flick. There you go. So I just literally practiced that a few times, round off, flick. And the idea is to try and get it as close as possible. Now what I noticed in that last one, weirdly, was I finished the first flick and I was like, oh, I feel like I got more. It felt slow. And that's why, if we go back, I finished the round off, I go into a flick and I'm like, oh, I can keep going. And I just kept going, and then I was just like, oh, I can throw a tuck at the end. So basically what I realized is I was just getting more confident and more comfortable with the movement, and that just meant that I'm getting closer to being able to do what I'm trying to do on the tumble track. So I eventually got the round off flick. I think it's the next clip after this. And here I literally get off, round off into flick, 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 and then tuck. Now that doesn't seem like much, but that was huge for me, because I have not been able to do multiple flicks ending with a tuck. And like I said, it just means that I'm the one in control, because I wouldn't throw a tuck at the end of that if I didn't feel I was in control. So that is the video. That was the session. Hopefully it kind of gives you a little bit more of an idea of my mindset and how I'm training this sort of thing and what I'm trying to do. I'm also trying to inspire other people that are in their late 30s, 40s, 50s to start doing stuff like this. Like, movement is amazing. It's amazing. As someone that at one point lost full control of their arm, when you lose movement, you realize how important it is. So to keep moving, people, I can't emphasize enough how important it is. But anyway, I am actually going to head off to the gym, so I'm going to finish the video here. Thank you for joining. If you've enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. But till then, peace.